Morning, everybody. Today we're going to be going over some firearm training drills. Right now I'm going to be going step by step on what we're going to be doing, the name of the drill, and also the purpose behind the drill. Now, starting off, we're going to be going with the up drill. Now, the up drill is a very important drill because it maximizes safety and readiness at the same time. So the purpose behind the up drill is the moment that your rifle comes up onto your cheek and you're aiming down that sight, as you're bringing that rifle up, you're turning your safety off and actuating it to where you're ready to shoot. But the moment that rifle comes off your cheek and comes down, your safety goes back on. And you can use this at any range. You can take this all the way out to 100 yards, even beyond, or you can take it all the way back to some of the indoor ranges at 25 yards, 15 yards. And if you want to, you can time yourself, work yourself, get faster and faster with it. The whole point of this is just to maximize readiness, because you don't know whenever you're moving, if you're working on a team, or if, say for example, it's home defense and you're having to run a safety on your rifle or your shotgun, you're having to move around your family, or you're having to move around in a more tactical sense in a firing line. The moment that you're coming off your rifle, your safety should be going back up so that you're not flagging a person with a hot gun with the safety off. Now, I know that it's a common joke that this is my safety, but it's not just your finger that can cause things to go off. Your rifle trigger can get caught by things on your gear that aren't properly snugged down, things in the wilderness. It could just be you fall and your trigger gets caught on something on the ground. Then you have a hot round going off as a negligent discharge. So starting off on the up drill, you bring the rifle up, safety off, round down, come off, bring it up, fire. And each time you bring the rifle up, you fire. Each time you bring the rifle down, your rifle is going off safe, or you're putting it on safe. Now, you can get it. You can do it faster if you want to. If you come from a high ready, just like that. Now, doing that, you have to slowly work at, like you see, I went over into the C zone from the A zone. That's on me. I pulled the trigger too quickly, and I need to work on that from the high ready. But from the low ready, bring it up to your sights aim, and right there in the A zone. So work it closer. A zone, high zone, just like that. And you can just keep working at it and keep working at it. And like I said, you can take it further back, work your accuracy drills, and everything else. Okay? Up! 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 Are you ready? Up! 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 Okay, now I'm going to be going over the difference between a good drill, which is called the controlled pair, and the hammer pair. Now, the controlled pair is a more accurate shooting. It's supposed to teach you to shoot faster, but at a more controlled pace at longer distances. So this is something you're going to practice from 25 and outwards. Now, sometimes you might even, depending on the situation, you might want to even use a hammer pair at 25, just because that's still close range, but it's something you're going to want to do at a more distant location from your target. And for example, I'm going to show you just what's the difference between a controlled pair and a hammer pair before I go on to explaining the hammer pair. So your controlled pair is going to be a nice 1, 2, compared to a hammer pair, which is going to be something more along the lines of, and forgive me, it's cold. That's pretty much as fast as I can pull a trigger at the moment. But the hammer pair is going to be something you're going to do as fast as you can pull the trigger, as compared to a controlled pair, which is going to be a very nice controlled 1, 1, up, 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 up. Okay, now I'm going to go over the hammer pair. And the hammer pair is something you're going to want to do at a more close range to get controlled rapid bursts on your target. And I'm going by that because most of us don't own select fire machine guns, so we're stuck with semi-auto. And the purpose behind that is to where you can quickly put 2 rounds on one target, quickly transition to another target, put 2 rounds on that target. So, and this is also can be reflective on getting your trigger time and your rate of fire up by practicing this drill. So you bring the rifle up and put your 2 rounds downrange. And the one thing that's going to happen with this, guys, compared to the controlled fire, is that between the controlled fire and the hammer pair, the thing is your rounds are going to spread out and you're going to be causing more internal hemorrhaging and damage on a soft target, because your rounds, even though they're not going to be hitting as a nice tight group, they're going to be hitting in multiple places, causing more organ damage, more internal damage, and more hemorrhaging. So let's get on to reloading these rifle and getting on to the hammer pair. Up. 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 Okay, now we're going to be going on to shooting on the move. Now there's 2 techniques that I've learned in doing it. There's the 1-step and the 2-step method. Now the 1-step method is where every time you take a step, that individual foot, like say for example, I'm going to do the right foot. So, 1, 1, 1. Just like that. So each time you take a step with that 1 foot, you pull the trigger. And the point behind that is where you can still have a stable shooting position where you're still putting a controlled round downrange. And that's the 1-step method, right? Is more controlled and accurate movement than the 2-step method. Now, either way, you can get better and slowly work your, as I've heard the term, combat glide, to the point where you can get a lot of rounds downrange very accurately by using the 1-step or the 2-step method. Now, I've just noticed that myself that the 1-step method is a bit more accurate than the 2-step method with me. Personally, I prefer the 2-step method, but I'm going over both of them just to give you guys a comparison. Okay, now I'm going to go on to describing the 2-step method versus the 1-step method. Now the 2-step method is something that I find that it's just better for me on shooting on the move, because I'm putting more rounds downrange and they're still going to be fairly accurately on target, and I'm talking still inside the A zone. So what I mean by that, for the difference between 2-step and the 1-step, it's pretty much in the name itself, which is firing 1 round per step rather than 1 round on 1 step. So for example, I'll show you right now. Clear. So just like that, it's per step you're firing a nice controlled round down your target. And you can practice this at a further range as well. So if you want to put more rounds downrange as you're moving, if you want to add more dynamics into it as well, you can, like moving between cover and other things. But that's pretty much the basic of the drill is 1 step, 1 fire. 1 step, 1 fire, just like that. And you can move your pace up, so you're having to put more rounds downrange as you're moving as well. But just as a good starting out basis, just slow 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, just like that. All right, now we'll go on to the movement. 2-step method. Okay, so now I'm going to be going over another drill which you can incorporate the hammer pair into, which is going to be the box drill. Now the box drill is more along the lines of for target transition. So what you do is transition from one target to another. Now you put 2 rounds on one center mass, 2 rounds on the other center mass, and then you drop back over to target 1. And with target 1, now I know there's 2 different ways of doing it. You can either go for a headshot or a groin shot. I prefer to go for the groin shot because you're causing more hemorrhaging, and you're also pretty much dropping your opponent to the point where they're not going to be a moving threat on you. So if it comes down to, you can follow through as they're dropping, as compared to trying to hit a headshot, which trying to quickly snap up and get a headshot is really hard, especially on a moving target. As compared, even on sometimes on your stationary targets, you're quickly transitioning, you come back up to target 1, you might miss. As compared to trying to aim for the pelvic region, which is a much larger and more open area. And there's a lot more arteries there, there's a lot more muscle that you can damage, and like I said, the main point is to stop the threat and drop the threat. So what I'm going to do is show you guys a quick example of that. So transition from one target to another. Range is hot. Just like that. And it's a very easy drill to do. The only problem is trying to practice this drill at an indoor range is kind of hard, and especially at some outdoor ranges. But if you get a chance, you can really spread those targets apart. You can really get to working on your movement from left to right and trying to get control of all of those dynamics with your body movement. So now we're going to go over doing that drill a couple more times.